Hello class, this is lesson 2-3 about solving multi-step equations. The first step that I think you guys should always do in solving these is to get rid of what I call the lonely number. This is a number that you see on the same side of the equation as the variable, but it's all by itself. And you're going to move it to the opposite side by either adding or subtracting to get rid of that number. The second step that I would recommend is to get rid of what I call the leech. And this is that number, like a leech, how it sucks the blood out of a living being. That's what this number does, is it is just attached to that variable. And so we're going to remove it by either multiplying or dividing that number on both sides. So let's go ahead and solve. 2n minus 6 is equal to 4. First, we're going to add 6 to both sides because that is the lonely number. And then I'm left with 2n is equal to 10. Then I can divide both sides by 2 because that number is the leech. And I find that n is equal to 5. So, pretty straightforward. Let's always just check our answer real fast by plugging it back into our original equation. So 2 times 5 minus 6, does that equal 4? Well, that is 10 minus 6, and 10 minus 6 is 4. So I guess I found the correct answer. Let's go ahead and move on. 9 is equal to 11x minus 2. I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides to get rid of that lonely number, and I'm left with 7 is equal to 11x. And then I can divide both sides by 11, and it doesn't come out even. It leaves me with a fraction, but that's okay. I'm going to just make sure that I rewrite it as x is equal to 7/11. I can still check my answer by plugging this into my original equation. So 9 is equal to 11 times 7/11 plus 2. My 11s cancel out, and I'm just simply left with 7 plus 2, which does equal 9, so I found the correct solution. In these next two examples, you see that there's an expression divided by a number. So what you're going to do in these scenarios is you're first going to get rid of the denominator. So since it's being divided by a number, we would remove it by multiplying by that same number on both sides. So I'm going to group together that w plus 1, and I'm going to multiply both sides by -2. So those cancel out, and I'm then left with w plus 1 is equal to -30. Then I can subtract 1 on both sides to get rid of that lonely number, and my final solution is w is equal to -31. All right, so pretty straightforward still. Let's go ahead and plug our answer in to check to see if it's correct. So w plus 1 divided by -2 equal to 15. I'm going to replace the w with -31. And on the top, -31 plus 1 is -30. And -30 divided by -2 is +15. So my solution was correct. Let's go ahead and do this again for our next example. It's being divided by 8, which means I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by 8. The 8's cancel out, and I'm left with 40 is equal to m minus 7. One more step, let's add 7 to both sides to get rid of that lonely number. And 40 plus 7 is 47. And I'm going to just rewrite it so it looks like m is equal to 47. Okay, so now let's just check this solution one more time by plugging it in. So 5 is equal to m minus 7 divided by 8. And let's plug in our 47. So 47 minus 7 divided by 8. 47 minus 7 is 40. And 40 divided by 8 is 5. So my solution does work. All right, let's go ahead and move on to a word problem. This one says, to put on a school dance, the student council raised 2/3 of the money needed with a bake sale. So our school doesn't have it, but a lot of schools have student councils and they have dances. So they need to raise money for it. Then it says that they raised an additional $150 by selling raffle tickets. If they raised a total of $630, what was the cost of just having this school dance? Okay, so to begin, I have 2/3 of the total cost. So I'm going to say that that is the variable C. And in addition to that, I am going to add $150. And then this is going to equal the total, which is $630. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve our equation by subtracting 150 on both sides. And I'm left with 2/3 the cost is equal to 480. And then I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. And the 480 and the 2 cancel out, which is 240. And 240 times 3 is going to give me 720, which means that the student council spent a total of $720 on this dance. So maybe that's for the DJ or for the photo booth or the decorations. I don't know. But that's how we solve this problem. Let's go ahead and do another one that's a little similar to this. It says your friend bought a snowboard that is on sale for 3/4 the original price. After he uses a $50 gift card, the total cost before taxes is $190. What was the original price of the snowboard? So I've definitely come across situations like this myself where something's on sale and I have a gift card. So let's work backwards. We know that 3/4 of the price of the snowboard minus that $50 gift card is going to equal $190. So that's how we're going to set up our equation. And now we can go ahead and solve it. So let's add 50 to both sides, which leaves me with 3/4 P is equal to 240. I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 4/3. And then I find that P is equal to, well, let's cross cancel. That's 80 times 4, which is 320. So this simply is telling me that the cost or the original price of the snowboard was $320. So I think I got kind of a discount, which is pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Now we're going to solve for a specific variable. In this case, we're going to solve just for x. So there's other variables here like a, and so we're just going to act like it is a normal number. So we're going to subtract 7 on both sides. I'm left with ax is equal to -2. And then I can divide both sides by a to get the x alone. X is equal to -2 over a. And that's all that we have to do. So let's do this one more time. I'm going to add 4 to both sides to get the x alone. That leaves me with 1 over a times x is equal to 13. And then one more step, I'm just going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is really just multiplying by a. And so my final solution, x is equal to 13a. And that's it. So on your own, what I would like you to do is solve the following 3 equations. If you can check your answer also, then that would be great. I will see you guys when you come into class.